I was interested in looking at whether the flooring that consumers stand on when they shop can actually affect their assessments of products that they're shopping for. What I find is that in fact it can, but it really depends, or the way that it affects us depends on the distance that we are from the product. So let me, I guess, try to explain. So when we make assessments of products that we see in stores or whatever, we can rely on two different types of information. We can rely on look at the product and make some assessment of the features of the product from our visual examination of it. And the second type of information is that we can actually use our body sensations that we're experiencing in the moment. By body sensations, I mean things like, your feelings. It could be, we're probably all most familiar with mood, that if we're in a bad mood, you might start a fight with me, or, start an argument, be short with me. Well, the same thing can happen, or a similar kind of thing can happen with other kinds of body sensations that we have. The body sensations that I'm interested in are the kind of feelings that you're getting, even though you're wearing shoes, socks, whatever, that you get from the texture or whatever the flooring is. So if you're standing on a hard tile floor, which is common in many stores, it might be rather uncomfortable. A lot of strain on your feet, especially if you're doing a fair amount of walking. On the other hand, if you're standing on carpeting, it's a lot more comforting. So the question is, do those feelings, or how do those feelings play into your assessment of the product? So what I find is that the effect of those feelings really depends upon the distance you are from the product. When you're looking at the product from a moderately far distance, you can you try to make an assessment of the features, but you can't really see the features that well. So they're rather ambiguous. And so what people tend to do is they kind of almost, it's like they're confusing other information, their sensations, to help them to interpret the product. So the fact that I maybe happen to be feeling quite comfortable myself at this moment because I'm on the carpeted floor may make me perceive the features, perceive the product as more comforting in its appearance. Say it's throw pillows that I'm looking at for the living room. Versus if I'm on a hard tile floor, I would evaluate these pillows as not that comforting in their appearance. On the other hand, and this is where it really gets interesting, I think, is that when we are close to the product and we can perceive the features of that product quite clearly, we form an initial assessment. Yeah, generally, it looks kind of comforting in its appearance, perhaps. But the question still remains, well, how comforting is it? We always need a kind of comparison standard. And so what happens here is that people use their body sensations, the feelings that they're having from the flooring, as a kind of comparison standard. So if I happen to be standing on the carpeted floor that feels quite comforting, I actually assess the product as, well, it's not all that comforting. So, and vice versa, then if I'm standing on the hard tile floor, I actually perceive it, well, compared, we're saying essentially to, in our unconscious, well, compared to how I feel, which is quite, there's discomfort from the flooring, although I'm not, labeling it as the flooring, that compared to this discomfort that I'm feeling, this product looks quite comforting in its appearance. So you get just the findings, or the impact of the flooring flips depending upon whether you're looking at something close by or you're looking at something, at more of a distance.